Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 57, and today we're going to be playing Lulu Fizz Yordles in Arms. And so, if you haven't been current with the channel, we did just qualify for Seasonals. Seasonals coming up here in a few days. We would have qualified via Masters rank, but we won the last chance gauntlet over the weekend, and so we need to get tested and prepared for the upcoming tournament. And the strategy we're looking to take is to allow Pantheon to stay, and then play a lineup that's strong against Pantheon. And so there's not a ton of decks that are good against Yuumi Pantheon. Pirates is good against it. Draven Scion is good. Tokens is good. Things like Elise Burn are good. But I don't want to be bringing a lineup that is super burn heavy. I think it's very easy to run into lineups that have like Yuumi Pantheon plus some other Shadow Isles decks, and then the other decks are just like way too strong against the likes of Pirates to feel like you have a good and balanced lineup. And so that third deck we were playing was Talia Ziggs. Talia Ziggs isn't a super positive matchup against Pantheon. It's actually in their favor, but it's so good against the rest of the field that I'm willing to say, okay, you can keep Pantheon. We'll try to beat Pantheon with Talia Ziggs, but we're just going to probably annihilate whatever your other deck is with Talia Ziggs. But the problem with that is, it's kind of cyclical, where we said, I don't really want to bring a full barn lineup. That's a common strategy for people to do. And so ultimately, I worry about running Talia Ziggs into just the burn lineups and then just getting smashed 2 games in a row by decimate decks. And so I wanted to do a little bit of soul searching before we got like heavy into our testing this week. And the thing to me was like, whatever happened to Yordles in Arms? This was the one of the top decks of the meta before the 3.6 patch. Yes, Yordles in Arms got nerfed, but was this a big enough nerf to really just knock this deck completely out of the meta? I don't think it should have been. And so that is thing number one I want to investigate. Is this deck really just bad now because Yordles in Arms is weakened just a little bit? Because if that's not the case, this is a deck that fits our criteria. It's good against Yuumi Pantheon. It's good enough against the likes of decks like Pirates. And then the thing that really intrigues me about this is it's extremely good against Talia Ziggs. And Talia Ziggs was the deck was like, well, if we have to play mirror matches, fine, whatever, I'm okay with that. But bringing in a deck that has a positive matchup against Talia Ziggs now gets us in this spot to where if we're playing against lineups that have both of those decks, then we're looking pretty strong, right? If we play against something playing Talia Ziggs Pantheon X, then we just ban out the X and we have great matchups across the board. But the thing that I think is more realistic and more common is that it'll be a lineup with Yuumi Pantheon. We can just leave it easy. It'll be a lineup with Talia Ziggs. We can leave it easy. And then I feel pretty good about what's happening there. And so that's what draws me back here to Lulu Fizz, and what I'm wanting to try today and see how we feel in terms of, do we get to replace Talia Ziggs with this deck? And so with that in mind, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, at least the list in particular. What I still think to be one of the strongest things you can be doing in the format is the Flame Chompers plus Lulu. Making this 4/4 Challenger unit is extremely good. We try to maximize that as much as we can by playing 3 copies of Scrap Heap. And so if you're only playing the Poro Cannon, you can't do all of this, right? You can't get the Flame Chompers on board on turn 2 through a Boom Baboon unless you have the Poro Cannon. But Scrap Heap gives us a way to where if we banked a mana on turn 1, we play Boom Baboon on turn 2, we can still play Lulu on turn 3 and have a way to get the Flame Chompers on the board. So that's big thing number 1 that we're trying to pull off here. Idea number 2 is that we're going to play a copy of Wallop. Now, this isn't something that's particularly strong in terms of just ladder grinding, but in the terms of what we're looking to do in Gauntlet and do in Seasonals, to where we want to be playing against Talia Ziggs and we want to be playing against Yuumi Pantheon, I want to have the option for this big stun. And so if our opponent has gone completely tall on a Pantheon or a Dragon, this gives us a great way to put in a finishing attack or survive as we build up to our Yordles in Arms turn. And then in terms of Talia Ziggs, it gives us a way to shut down an Absolver turn. So the big way Talia Ziggs will win is we'll flood the board with all these shitty units. They can't actually deal any damage because none of their cards have Overwhelm, but then they'll play the Absolver onto Talia and hit you for like 14. And having the Wallop to stop that combo should be enough to win the game for us. And so wanting to make this kind of meta decision to play the Wallop, and then otherwise things are pretty standard and ready to go. And so that's it. We have paid the pay-to-win price. Our deck is fully premium. And so let's jump on in. Let's get this shit going. See how it goes. It's so weird to me. Like I've been kind of like thinking over the past week or so, even like, where did this deck go? Like, what happened to Yordles in Arms? Why isn't this a thing? And I can't imagine that the nerf was what really took it out of the meta. That just doesn't seem like enough. Like, yes, if you're making the big double Poro plus Fizz attack for 16 damage, it only does 13 now, but just from all the time that we spent playing for Demacia, it just seems wild to me that this is just like, it doesn't even show up on the meta reports. If you're going on Balco's site, you have to like physically pull it out of the individual archetype lists, and so weird, so strange. But out here battling against pirates, this is one of the reasons I'm interested in playing Yordles in Arms. It's stronger against pirates than the Talia decks are. Talia really struggles against this. Just has way too many draws to where you can't deal with your opponent's width, and so I'm pretty interested and pretty on board with seeing the advantages of being stronger against pirates. And so with this board, we do have the Yordle Captain plus this other stuff kind of ready to go. But I really just wanted to get some board presence down here. So I'm going to drop the Zonite Urchin. Just get to see if they want to drop Misfortune here. There's a very real chance if he sends it back to us, that's great. We don't have to attack this turn, but ideally we'll just get to say like get excited at Misfortune and then have the Yordle Captain next turn. Okay, I'm going to keep banking, dog. Alright, well, there's the combo. A little slow. Wow, so many Crackshot Corsairs. I'm just going to go ahead and boom one. If he follows up with Misfortune, we still have another get excited to take her down. But this is a pretty rough attack for us. And then if he plays another unit, we can just follow up with the Yordle Captain. It's not the end of the world in those terms. Just get rid of the Yordles in Arms. It's going to be pretty slow here. Still not the greatest of turns, but if all he does is attack with the Adaptron to deal 2 damage to our face, that's pretty good. Oh. Is that a Misfortune? Nope. Okay. Pretty painful. Pretty painful. Ooh, I'm just switching to Lulu here. I want to be able to hook down one of these Crackshot Corsairs. Is that the way to do it? Do we need to take Zap now instead?
I have my orders.
Probably. Is the guaranteed damage coming at us? We did have like access to this Wallop to potentially shut him down a little bit, but he's getting to the point to where his ground-based attacks are no good.
Hello, anyone want to join my party?
It's annoying, but sure. And do we want the 1/3? If we play the 1/3, then we have to give up on Lulu a little bit. So let's just go ahead and wallop something. And hit the stun spider, that's okay. Now we can say put Lulu in front of the Saboteur, the Boom Baboon in front of his 3 attack, put the Flame Chompers in front of one of the smaller bros. Ooh, this is greedy not attacking with the Corsairs. If he ever just doesn't attack with everything, that's the actual best thing we could hope for. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I'm not like amped about this, right? This isn't awesome in terms of being pretty low in health. This is them being really close to the burn stage of things, but you know, we've taken over board, and we're like a 3 burn spell range now, and so that's at least kind of nice. Explosive Minefield was a fantastic addition. Oh, let's play the chompers he's seen. There we go.
Your best, okay?
Just do your best, okay? I think we're okay. This looks good. Is he playing Gangplank? And it's like, if his last card is Gangplank, that kind of sucks. But in terms of this board, we're looking good. Alright, so we want our attack to look like this. If he wants to come in and block Lulu, he's gonna have to do it with his Crackshot Corsair. And then the idea with this is he just never gets to deal combat damage to us for the rest of the game. Noxus Blast, okay. So we get to preserve our Lulu. That's pretty good. Alright, we're at 6, so it's 2 burn spells away from death. You might have done it, fam. It's like the actual best draw he could have had. Oh, and it passes it out to the tech? Wow. Wow. Okay. It's like I'm envisioning this overwrite play on the minefield so we can stun one of his units and then overwrite and have a full board. So let's just pass and see what he does. His attacks are actual dog shit here, and so I mean, let's see. Well, maybe we should have Mystic Shot the Crackshot Corsair, but I think we're going to need it to take the face. Maybe we should just go ahead and fix that problem. I don't want to fall to 4 and then just be at decimate range, and so it's just like the downside of this is if we can't lethal next turn, then it's a disaster. And the minefield's gonna pop the rear guard, which doesn't do anything. All right, still got it. Okay, GG. So yeah, sorry we missed the day of videos out there. I do try my best to get a video out there every day, but Mother's Day came around. I had to hang out with Mom, and so she put forth the effort. She, like me and my brother, both moved out here to Kansas City, and then she was still back in West Virginia, and it's tough for her to put everything behind her and move out here to the big city. But she did it, and so gotta make the hangs on Mother's Day if she's gonna pick up her life and move across the country. That's what people always say, though. Just get up and move. You don't like where you're at, just move. I know you live there forever, and that's where all your friends are and stuff. But housing's too expensive. Just move. Can't find a job. Just move. Shit's insane. But all right, against Ezreal Victor, I've been like running into this more and more, but I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do. This hand isn't a keeper though. We need some more early game interactivity. That's not good. This is a little slow for my tastes. We'll just be building up the big Poro cannon draw. Get the big Yordle, the Yordle, then we just drop all the Poros. You say, I see you, Ezreal, but you're not that scary. Alright, let's just go ahead and pop this thing. I don't want to like completely overbank here, so we can Mystic Shot down the Conchologist and not be too upset about it. It's gonna be like stress defense. Nah, man. Sure. Quit coming after my Conchologist. Here's the stress defense. Okay. Well, let's see what the big dude plan gets going for us. Get all these 3/3 Poros happening. Just gonna start beaming our captains. Wow, that's a lot of cards. Okay, well, I'm happy with it in one degree that he just like spent 5 mana and 2.5 cards on our dude. That does get him, 3 ticks up on Ezreal though. I have to imagine that's still just positive for us. Such a weird hand. 3 Get Exciteds, 2 Poro Cannons, 2 Yordle Captains. Okay. Here to shut you down, bro. He has a space he can have the, a Sumpworks map. Wow. Wow, we're just going for it, huh? Okay. Interesting. I mean, do we just take him down? We have to get him out of the way. Well, we can't block fast enough. We can get Fizz in front, but he'll just heal that damage back. We can try for Get Excited's next turn. Like, man, give me a good discard. Welcome to the team, bro. Discarded 1 Poro Cannon. I can't imagine we'll ever need to make all 6 Poros. Then we'll discard the Get Excited for this other one, but gives a chance to see what he's going to do. He picks up Fury, so we'll have to hit, if he blocks one of our units, we'll have to hit Victor in combat. I'll have to stop and remember that. Arrow's Fancier, you got it. Now the downside to this kind of angle to where, say, we attack with all the dudes, he blocks with Victor in front of the Poro. He does have the level 2 Death Ray in hand now, and so if we throw Get Excited onto Victor, then he should be able to just play the removal spell on our smaller unit and protect the Victor. So it's probably not worth trying to get a takedown on him. Just go for the old burn plan here. Can do it after the fact if we want, but where do we get him to 12? Oh, he's a moderately scary Victor. We're just completely out of cards if that's what we're gonna do, though. All right, I'm gonna stick to the burn plan. This is kind of like the pivotal decision of the game, and we're going for the burn plan, I guess. Oh, it's this stupid fucking deck. Okay. Haven't sat around and bitched about this card for a while. Okay. Tough, sure. Still have no idea what this deck is trying to do. Like, it makes sense with Victor on the board and trying to pop off a bunch of generated cards for his augment, but man, a ton of these decks is just no idea what they're actually doing in terms of this Curious Shelfolk. Okay, so what we're looking to do here is he's going to just sit around and play all these dumbass cards. We probably have to block Victor this turn, but we're going to try and just hook him away with the Flame Chompers and then just get a lethal next turn. So right, ideally we should be able to hit with 8 elusive, and then have the Get Excited for the final burn. Mystic Shot. A little awkward with the Get Excited. We can't play both burn spells this turn. But he needs to remove 2 units here, right? We have the 3 damage in hand. Stress defense, okay. To get excited. Okay. So we'll let the combat happen, and then I'll just send Mystic Shot to face. Oh, we're only dealing 5 damage now. Takes him to 4. Okay. Well, nothing we can do about that. We'll have to go to next turn. I don't think there's any weird shenanigans. Well, I guess if you're playing Pharaoh's Fanciers, there might be a way to pick up an expensive that does something, but they can't play Nopifies, Denies, Rite of Negations. There's no heal to the best of my brain memory. He did pick up the lifesteal on Victor so he could find a strike that would be awkward, but I don't think they could stop this. Maybe Ezreal's enough. Might be able to do enough with the flipped Ezreal. But I'm not going to give him the chance to just start playing like Hex Core upgrades. Okay. GG. I just hate Curious Shellfolk so much. It's just... It leads to like a lot of unnecessarily long turns. And I think it's just one of those cards that... if it's good for constructed, it's never healthy. It's one of those cards that needs to just live in the Path of Champions or in the meme decks, and just not something that should ever be in the realm of competitive viability. This is nice though. Winning that last chance gauntlet, I was afraid that we were gonna have to. That we were going to like get into this week and then just be stuck playing a bunch of normals. Like, I do have the kind of feeling that if I'm not good enough to just maintain that top 700 rank, then I probably just don't have any business in playing seasonals anyways. But it's nice to have that pressure taken off. Come on, matchmaking. All right, try that again. There we go. Seems to be working. Okay, Draven Scion. This is one of the decks I'm pretty confident and comfortable that we're gonna be taking into the seasonals. You're gonna be seeing some of the Draven discard later in the week. I most certainly want to at least get in another day or two of playing it. I'm gonna make one with the Pirates. I want to get in a day of playing Pirates, but. I'm still just, up in the air between this Talia Ziggs and now playing Yordles and Arms. Those are the ones I'm really wanting to focus on. I wasn't really happy with my Talia Ziggs play in that gauntlet either, so let's see what we can do. It's got the Risen Rider. That's okay. Go ahead and bring in this Mystic Shot. Then we should be ready next turn. It's unfortunate to be dropping these Mystic Shots right before he makes his Draven play, but we can handle Draven with the Lulu Flame Chompers. Sure. Sad day, girl. The boomest of baboons. Looks good. Pharaoh's Fancier isn't too intimidating on this board.
Leave it to me.
Cannot get my block in fast enough. Okay. It is a decision this turn. I think I want to lead with the Boom Baboon. It does give us this interactive line where we can still play the Flame Chompers. As opposed to playing Bandle City Mayors, to where it doesn't feel like we're going to get too many units that we can physically play this turn. And then we kind of need to use the Bandle City Mayor to get a unit for the Yordles in Arms. And so True Shot Barrage. Okay. Okay, Pharaoh's fancier. Well, you can attack now. We have the 6 mana next turn, so we can Yordle Ranger, and then the following turn we can make a Yordles in Arms play with it. I think that's fine. There is an argument to pick up Grumble Slug here, but it's so slow. Or saying it's slow is not the right word. It's like it doesn't do enough, right? Our hand is not really high powered here. What up, Fizz? You're gonna cost 0, aren't you? Let's start with the Fizz and see what happens. It's very odd that he's just passing here, but I think we can play Fizz. I don't really want to advertise that we're about to drop this big dude, but they shouldn't have any answers to it either way. It's not a deck that typically plays things like Thermogenic Beam. Double get excited? Oh, get excited Mystic Shot. Okay. There's a big drain on the resources. Alright, this is one of the turns to where it's clearly worse that we're playing Yordles in Arms here, but I mean, it should still be good. We're gonna dome him for... Oh, has he got more burn? This dude's had all the burn. Jesus. Should still get to, like, dome him for a lot, but I mean, if he's playing burn spells here, he's still able to add a unit. 2 Mystic Shots, 2 Get Excited. It's the generated True Shot Barrage and the Ravenous Flock. Alright. Alright. Make some mouth noises here and just move it on. We did pick up our big spell and treasured trash. We typically just hit 2 drops with it, so my expectations aren't particularly high. I'm not going to trade with his Daring Poros here. This is the kind of space to where I would prefer to just hook them out of combat and then get actual damage in, since we've gotten him so low. How we feel? Like, I don't know. Maybe we do just come in and trade this board out, but then it's like, if his play next turn is to just like drop Scion, it doesn't do anything. Maybe we keep this guy back. We can keep the Mayor back. So if he goes into next turn, plays a Scion, plays a big Revenant, whatever, we can still hook him out of combat and then try and get the Bandle City Mayor in for real damage, in addition to whatever we treasured trash up. So I think that's okay. And we get the big burn package as well. What'd we hit? Absorb Soul, Chef Nanotech, Shady Character's a maybe. Pharaoh Skycruiser looks good. Kahiri is a all-around generally weak one, but we can play the Skycruiser. It was lit up and stuff, so assume he's going to have elusive, and we can copy it with the Shady Character. And then it's kind of lame, but we can still Calling Strike after this. Maybe we want to play Chief Nanotech instead of Calling Strike, but... Oh no, the disaster here is if we copy the Skycruiser, the Shady Character's stunned. It makes an exact copy of it, so it makes a stunned copy. So let's just copy the the Twin Blade Revenant. This does get us to a lethal, at least with this board. And then we're still kind of in the same space to where, you know, say he plays a big dude, we have the Calling Strike if we need it. He doesn't play dude, so let's go with Kahiri. He's just bigger. Oh, it shuffles him into our deck. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants to draw you ever, my dude. Alright, GG. This man had Had a bit of the fun this weekend. If you've heard of Bert Kreischer, he has a few Netflix specials in the stand up comedy section. He's the one that always performs without a shirt on. And then, if you've heard the machine joke, the bit, the sketch, whatever you want to call it, the dude going to Russia for his high school course, he basically just babbles out to the Russian mafia handlers that his name is the Machine, and then just proceeds to get drunk with them for the remainder of the trip. But everyone is all hype about hanging out with the Machine. It's become quite the popular sketch on the internet. Anyways, that's the guy. We went and saw his stand up act this weekend. It was pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. Many ha-has were had. It's tough with like a lot of these comedy acts, especially ones to where like I was like happy with his comedy. I think all of his specials are great. Some of the side stuff he does on Netflix isn't my cup of tea, but it's still pretty funny. But like they'll take just like a lot of the repeat stuff. You know, they're basically there just like giving out the classics and not bringing much new material. But he had a bunch of new material going with it as well, and it was all pretty good and funny. Well worth the experience. We're sitting in the literally the very last row at the theater. It's like we went to. It was like tickets went on sale in like November. Something like that, December, November. Like I had no idea, and then I just like randomly saw an advertisement that he was going to be in town a few weeks ago, and so the choice seats were taken, if you will. Oh, can't attack yet, and so it's still fine. I mean, it was a comedy show isn't where you're exactly needing to be like right up and at it and seeing it. Or I guess if you're there like seeing Carrot Top or something, then you'd be a little bit upset. You can't see what all of his props look like and stuff. But for the purposes of this show, it was just fine. But all right, let's go ahead and drop Lulu. I'm not too worried about what he's going to put on the board this turn. She should be pretty safe. Then next turn we can try and get a Flame Chomper's attack in. This is fine. We'll have to take the hit here, but we can put a bunch of damage on this next turn. A little scary, though. There's some scary stuff happening over there. This is going to be what I assume is the Mist Walker, Mist Wraith, that 2-cost thing that eats your units, so you can like eat this 5/5. It gets the quick attack, and then the attached thing goes back to his hand. I don't think you usually see Teemo in this deck. That's kind of odd to me. This is what you usually see when it's Yuumi only. But we're definitely in danger. Need him to not interact with our Flame Chompers. I was going to say, like, ideally he can't take down Lulu. He had to take the kind of roundabout way to get there, but she's going to be dealt with after this turn. So, little danger. I mean, we're counting on damage working onto this Blast Cone Seedling, but I can't imagine that these people play, like, tons of combat tricks. Where are we at? Where are we at? We're at the 4 of the 4. Our Yordles and Arms is ready to go. Got to spend some mana on the Seedling. It's like I'm trying to envision if we ever end up playing this hibernating Rock Bear. It would be pretty easy if we're able to go like we'll get the Rock Bear in for like 6 mana this turn. But now that we have to get excited the Lantern, I'm just going to discard it. I'm not going to let that dum-dum sit around and let him cheat out a bunch of fairies. There's the Mask Mother. Okay, sad noise. I kind of like the Mecha Caster. It's tempting. Like, we're probably not going to Yordles and Arms next turn anyways. Okay. Now, the worrisome thing here, I don't know if this deck plays Atrocity. We have to watch out for that one just a little bit. But if he's not playing Atrocity, then we don't have to worry about that damage so much. Now we can technically pivot to Yordles and Arms if we want. I don't feel like we're going to, but it's an option. I think the Mecha Caster just achieves a little bit more. We get the dude on board and still get to produce a bunch of stats. Odd that he's passing, though. Not doing anything. I mean, if his... I guess the angle here is if he has the Vengeance, that's pretty bad, right? Vengeance would be pretty good to just stop the Mecha Caster from attacking. We'd be in a similar spot, though, if we went for the Yordles and Arms play. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. You keeping that Masked Mother in the background? That seems awfully dangerous, my dude. Awfully dangerous. And this bonus is this round. I had to stop and see if the Mecha Caster was going to make these things permanent. It's not. It's not a card we see a ton of, so it's worth a read. Yeah, it feels good going to the comedy shows. It's like with COVID and everything and being stuck in the house for 2 years. It took me a while to kind of like dip my toes into feeling okay with like going out into public. Things like this, like I went to some outdoor concerts and felt completely fine, but you know, kind of enclosing yourself in a room of 3,000 people or so, it was I felt like it finally just kind of built up to it. It's like, it's okay. I got all the shots and everything, so I mean, I don't have to worry about it completely, I guess, but it's tough to like break out of that mindset though, that like I'm just not going to go outside and do anything. Like you kind of like get in your head that like, well, you know, I've got to take the wife out to dinner and stuff, and if we go too long without date night, she's going to get mad and upset and things. But you don't have any elusives here. And said like getting back in that mindset of being like, oh, it is okay to leave the house, and oh, we do have to. Oh shit, I'm good at this game. You know, do stuff. Return to normalcy, if you will, is I guess the tagline everyone likes to use, but I don't know, man. Can't believe we drew the wallop. I'm pretty good at this game. Pretty good. We just open here. We just need to deal 2 damage. It's like, even if he has a removal spell, it's still okay. Alright. Feels like things have a lot of opportunity to go wrong here. No! No! We got our top deck. Okay. I guess it makes sense that they would play an Atrocity. We were a little greedy with our health total that game. We could have definitely gotten some blocks in on that thing. Man, though. Right after we draw our wallop. But that's one of the reasons I'm glad it's here, right? We're expecting this deck to be going up against these Go Tall decks. Not necessarily that thing. Not the Masked Mother deck, but if our goal in playing Constructed is, or playing Gauntlet and Seasonals is to be doing battle against a lot of Yuumi Pantheon and a lot of Talia Ziggs, having that stun can be pretty critical. Here, the Sejuani Gangplank, I'm going to get rid of our burn spells. I guess we could arguably want to keep Mystic Shot since they play a lot of those 3 attack, 2 toughness, overwhelmed 2-drops, but kind of rather just look for a Lulu and a discard card, things that our deck wants to be doing. We found them. I think my only problem with this is like I talk about my decks wanting to have like the big spells with reach, and so you know, in our Draven Scion deck, we're playing Captain Farron, and we're playing Scions, and then in our Talia Ziggs decks, we're playing the Arsenal. I love having access to those just big game enders for when they kind of just drag out a little bit. There's not a ton of options in Bandle City P and Z though. Like that's why these decks end up playing Treasured Trash. I'm not exactly certain if I would want to play 2 copies of Treasured Trash, but that's one of the things kind of cycling around in my brain is maybe we do actually go up to like 2 copies of Treasured Trash. I'm not entirely sure what I would want to drop out doing that though. Okay. It feels a little early with the Make It Rain, but sure. Grant the strongest ally. Alright, well let's see if he's going to come at us with another burn spell. I was hoping to actually get this Obelisk of Power onto a... Do we want to play the Baboon? Let's just go ahead and pokey stick this thing. I was hoping to get the Obelisk of Power onto the Elusive, but... that didn't happen. Oh, and it's Lulu. Nice. There's another Make It Rain. Okay. Make a sad noise, I guess. We'll wait on this Lulu. I want to try and get into combat and kill this stuff. Okay. Don't want the damages on her.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
Alright, he's got a warning shot. Don't expect too much more out of him this turn. I mean, I guess you can troll chant this to protect his guy, but I think we should be able to safely get Lulu down now. She's about to get this massive boost from the Obelisk of Power. And then we can hit for 1,000,000. Uh-oh. You got something? He's about to be the fun police. There shouldn't be like 3 mana removals. What are they even gonna have? You can't play Massive Harpoon. You could play another Make It Rain. Is that what he's putting out on the board? Oh, Mystic Shot. Okay. I could see why you'd want to do that. That's what he took out of our deck. Oh, jeez. Nice hit, buddy. Nice hit.
Are you ready? Let's take it for a spin.
Preservarium's big. I think we're probably okay to be just discarding Pokey Stick here to Scrap Heap. It's like there's probably not going to be too many targets for a Pokey Stick, but I don't know if the extra card from Preservarium is going to be that big of a deal. Right? They just kind of cycle either way. Let's see what he does. I definitely want to be Scrap Heaping here, and I don't want to play Mystic Shot. Okay, I think Pokey Stick's probably safe. Yeah, we can't play any of these. I'm leaning towards like the go wide one. It is nice having the options for these expensive bros. I mean, maybe the Earthshaker is the way to go since it can block, or the Dunehopper mech can actually block and kill Sejuani. She's a little bit away from flipping. Okay. Okay. All right. More mechs? Nice. I mean, these are some of that reach that I was wanting. 5 and 6. It's not gigantic, but it's not terrible. Check my stats, bro. Got the biggest stats. Most stats 2020. Oh shit, he's coming in? I mean, we have to block. It's gonna be like a Fury of the North, and it's gonna suck. But we can't just eat this giant hit.
Fight like the animal you are.
Mm-hmm. We take 2. Alright, no need to play the scrap heap now. We can just bank this mana and open with it next turn. Have a touch of information before we have to do it. Okay. Another Dune Hopper. I'm on board. And then what we'll be doing with this attack, assuming he doesn't do anything too preposterous to us. I mean, well, we're kind of fucked, aren't we, right? He has the 2 warning shots in hand. He can warning shot, flip Sejuani, warning shot again, and then stun our whole team. Frostbite our whole team, however we call that. And then we can't quite Mystic Shot down the Sejuani. I think we still have to come in. Like, what are we supposed to do? Just attack with the mech and not attack with Lulu? Maybe that's the way to do it. But then he's still just gonna get the flip. It's like, maybe we're supposed to attack with just the singular unit. I don't know. At that stage, that game's pretty done, though. Oh, down to 3 and 2. That's tough. All right, Aphelios Fizz. This is an interesting one. This is one of the decks I was expecting to see more of. Like, if you pull it up on the meta report, it's just like a positive win rate against the entire format. But I still just kind of have like feelings that a lot of that is just kind of good players in the know, and it hasn't had the chance to spread out to the lower quality players, if you will, and really propagate that way. But I mean, this is another matchup to where I'm pretty happy to have the singular copy of Wallop. If they're going to try and a Papercraft Dragon of Fizz, and then it's another one that we can kind of like combat their go wideness, right? It's a deck that's pretty good against pirates because they're out here just trying to go wide, but we have some pretty strong options against what they're doing. I think we're too slow for Trumpet Decker. Let's just pick the Smash and Dash. Definitely not going to have any board time for the Trumpet Decker. We drew this really not dude heavy hand. Lots of burn, lots of mid-game stuff happening. Okay. You boomed us, Pix. You got us real good. These strong attacks coming out of the Smash and Dash. Like, the only downside here is if he plays Lantern, we don't have the mana to pop it with Get Excited. Like, I'm a huge fan of killing the Lanterns as soon as they turn up. It does give him in the space to where he can drop a Lantern and then open with a Papercraft Dragon next turn, and we can't really do much about it. Okay. We do this. They play Pokey Stick. I don't really want to give up on the Flame Chompers. Yeah, this is fine. Alright. My mind has been changed. I mean, we've got the Yordles in arms in hand. We might get just kind of a value Yordles in arms a turn or two from now. Even if it's just giving the +2/+2, getting us a bunch of trades across the board isn't that bad. Or a bunch of combat wins isn't that bad. That's some power right there, though. So I'm leaning pretty heavily towards discarding whatever he makes expensive to the Zonite Urchin, playing Lulu, and then go for it from there. That's highly suspect. Right, if he has the Aphelios come into hand and then he leaves us with Get Excited. I mean, is he just playing Aphelios to pick up a 3 damage so we can shoot our? Okay, let's just play this a little bit slower. We'll add the Fizz. We'll get excited away the Aphelios through the Pokey Stick. Oh, noes. Oh. You did that out of order. Maybe we should have played the Lulu. I just assumed this entire... I was like, oh, we have units on board. He's never going to attack. now this is slightly disastrous. We can get the fully charged Yordles in arms next turn. But... it's not as good as I wanted it to be. Okay. It's okay if he gives out the lifesteal. I mean, his health doesn't matter at this point. Is this a Pokey Stick? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not awesome. So yeah, the things started to go wrong on that previous turn. This has been kind of a disaster sequence. If we'd, instead of playing Fizz, if we'd just gone ahead and played Get Excited on that Aphelios, there's not a ton they could do about it. They don't play... I'm trying to remember if they play Pale Cascade. I don't think they do. I'm trying to remember what... maybe their only Targon is Pale Cascade and Aphelios. I don't entirely remember. But attempting to take him down would have been the way to go about that. Very easy for him to just drop spells on Fizz. I think this is okay. The Dune Hopper's tempting. The Professor Von Mech is kind of interesting as well, but we did already spew off our Yordles in arms. Okay. This is fairly safe with Fizz. He can't play Papercraft Dragon this turn, so we don't have to worry about him too much. He does get to gain some health, which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world.
Don't make me flamigify you.
Yeah, you're going to get flamigified. Get him, Lulu. Don't let him do that shit.
Coming in.
Just punching for the damages. Alright, I'll take the bait. There's not too much here that could make this go wrong. Like, we're not going to lose our Dunekeeper this turn. Sure. Going for the damages. Right in our face place. So there's an extra unit. I was like, if he doesn't play another unit, this is pretty scary for them. Oh, it's not. It's not that scary. Let's be real. It's like we get the hook onto Fizz, but the rest of these combats aren't super relevant. Okay, let's see if we can't find something to do. It's a little dangerous not opening, but I think we need to have something go right here if we're going to turn this game around. Poro Cannon's okay. We're not doing a lot with it here, but it gives us a means to block a Fizz. I'm looking to swing with the squad. Pretty irrelevant what unit he adds. We're going to hit with everybody. If he plays like a 4-4, it's going to kind of suck, but I don't think they play too much that's going to interact well with this. Like, we're going to lose our Lulu this turn. That's unfortunate, but otherwise this is okay. All right, 3-3 is going to come down in front of Lulu. the Dustbringer, you know, if he wants to prevent the damage, he'll block the 6. Otherwise, he'll just trade it with the Urchin. But I think this is a good start.
You cannot hold us down. You leave me no recourse.
Oh man, are we just gonna lose to Chum the Waters? I can't wait to see this like incoming Chum the Waters plus Papercraft Dragon. Not a lot we can do about that. We probably have to preemptively try to get excited this thing. A lot of angles we have to worry about here. It's kind of unfortunate. Okay, let's go ahead and give up on this one. And so yeah, that's not to say that we would have won that game, but we definitely took a bad line there. I think we should have just, like, I'm not even sure that I would want that Fizz on the board anyways. But we definitely should have just tried to take care of Aphelios while we could. Now, that is like a tough spot if they do end up having the likes of Aphelios kind of cards. Let me see if we can't pull this up real quick. Archetypes. Sure. Uh-oh. I pushed a button. Is Aphelios. This is how you use the site if you're not familiar. But, all right, there's the most popular list. We'll pull it up and see. It's got positive win rates against pretty much everything. Has a slightly bad match against Pantheon, a slightly bad match against Caitlyn, but essentially a coin flip. I personally think a lot of this is well, it's had some time to balance out now, but right when it first came out, it was like running positive against everything, and I don't think that's quite the case anymore. So what do they play? 3 Pale Cascades, sometimes Guiding Touch. That seems like a new addition to me, and then a single copy of Hush. Everything else is out of Bando City. Okay, worth remembering the Pale Cascade. So I mean, if you had a Pale Cascade there, that game would have been, it would have been a loser. That's just like such a painful place to have to go about that, dropping the Pale Cascade. I mean, there's not tons of times, I guess, where we're going to have to worry about this like supported attack from Pix stopping a Get Excited, but that was all around a pretty tough spot. That Pix was a superstar that game. Just shutting she shut down like literally everything. I was immediately just like ready to talk trash about that Pix, and she was the actual all-star of the game. All right, Trundlemere. Bringing them Feel the Rushes. Not like excited about keeping hands like this. I want to find more early game aggression. We can hang on to the Fizz, but we just need better dudes. This is more of a disaster mulligan. They're coming at us. The disaster mulligans are coming at us from all the angles today. Let's see that trick, Fizz. Ugh, so gross. Right, fairly safe turn to start dropping these dudes. If he has a Vile Feast for our Fizz, it sucks a lot, but we don't really have the means to play around it. All the Poro Cannons. We have to open here. If he has the Avalanche, it's just so bad. And then we can't really play cards here because if he has the Blighted Ravine, we can't Blighted Ravine till next turn. But we won't. He has the option to Blighted Ravine before we can attack again. Sure. Alright, give us something good, game. Alright, Lulu. You are acceptable. And we have to just accept that this damage sucks. There's nothing we can do about this. We can't just pass with like the full 7 mana. We need to get the Poro Cannons and some of these dudes on board. Vandal City Mayor was a great draw. I'm just thinking about taking the Mecha Caster. It's the most expensive one we have here. Then we still have the options to drop our Poro Cannon units. Yep. All right. Well, we're pretty far away from winning this one. this is not how you can have the matchup go. It is what it is, right? When you start out the game and then just draw 100 burn spells against the deck where you need to open with a curve of units, just is what it is, as they say. Still fun. We can still find a way to punch in a bunch of burn, but I don't think we're going to be too successful in this one. It's one of these spots where you're just like, yeah, play Trundle. do something that doesn't matter. Okay, we'll add Fizz. Even if he has a Blighted Ravine, it's like as serviceable as it's going to be. Can't counter a Withering Wail with the Fizz. All right. Let's see what gem we can draw here. It gets on board, I guess. Give us a way to spend those manas. Okay. Okay. All right. For the thrill of battle, you say, Tryndamere. Let's make our way to our final battle. And so I'm still like, this hasn't been the most successful of showings, but I'm still pretty happy with how these have gone. We've played, this will be our second match against Pirates, which is a better match than it would be against the Talia Ziggs. Against like the random bullshit decks we're never gonna see. Like we could have played one of our losses was to the Mistwraith deck, whatever. The Aphelios deck, I'm not sure, but we definitely didn't play that one well. And so it's like I think we still have like pretty high hopes for this deck, even though our win rate isn't super high. It's high against the decks that I think matter. Okay. Not bad, not bad. We'll start off with the scrap heap. I want to hit a 3-drop here if we can. Smash and dash is beautiful. Fury Horn Crasher is pretty good as well. Maybe we just go with the Crasher. It's tough for him to pull units out of combat here if he wants. Like, he could play a 3-2 to try and take down the Crasher, but we can hook it out of combat. And then if he plays Misfortune, he's not going to want to block a 3-3 with Misfortune. And so I think this is going to be good. It's kind of tempting to not play the Zonite Urchin. Oh, that's lame. That's lame, dude. All right. I thought we were here to have fun and make cool plays. Apparently I was wrong. Sure. Be cool if you had bonus stats, wouldn't it, Yordle Captain? Poor guy. You tried to get bonus stats. What you got? It's a misfortune. Okay.
Hello. Anyone want to join my
I mean,
party?
it's not that scary. What would ever be his angle here to stop this Fury Horn from just killing Misfortune? There isn't anything. Okay, this is pretty disastrous for opponent. Whenever we're talking about playing with pirates and decks like this, the most important thing we always talk about is trying to get your first 6 mana spent all on units. And him being banked up so far here is not ideal. You get a pretty big attack in this turn.
Never lost a fair game.
Red card kills 2. Okay.
Who says I don't share?
I have my orders.
I mean, if we're trading out with Twisted Fate and trading out with the Saboteur, I feel like those are both wins. It's never going to block with the Crackshot Corsair. I think this is okay. He gets a lot of stuff off of the board, but still feels like we're ahead. Like we might realistically just be getting a Rockfall Path on the board. Maybe we do. We've got a bunch of cards in hand. There's a pretty realistic chance this gets to kill something. Okay. If he wants to play around the Rockfall Path, that has to feel pretty bad. We just need to pick up like a card advantage card now, and we'll feel okay. That's not good. That's not good. I give you that one. I think I'm just gonna take this one. It's like we want the Rockfall Path to be hitting the Island Navigator, and so it's like tough to find the space to get these units dead. We can double get excited here. He's gonna have to have a 1-drop to try and get out of this. This doesn't feel as good anymore. But we still have lots of good draws, right? We can pick up some of our more expensive Bandle City Mayor type plays. Okay. Takes us to 10. Kill this dum-dum. Not in a really good top deck spot. He's just doing it. He's doing it all better than us. Oh, man. Okay. That was aggressive. And I guess we gotta kill Zap. If his angle is to throw the unit away, but before he even gets to attack with it. Like I don't really know why you don't just open and then play that after the fact, but we have to stop whatever shitty plan this is. Oh, we got your Poro Cannon. Okay, GG. That was an odd one, but that does kind of like bring forth some of my concern and where I think I want to kind of like tinker around with this deck a little bit more. I think like there's two things with this. I'm pretty confident that I'm pushing myself towards just playing Lulu Fizz. We didn't have a very successful day today, but the things that I kind of take away from that are where our losses were to decks I don't think are relevant. We lost to Sejuani Gangplank. We lost to that Mist Wraith deck. We lost to Aphelios Fizz, which is relevant, but I feel like we played that game poorly. And then this deck, it's not a significant favorite against Pirates. Nothing is really a significant favorite against Pirates unless you just go super out of your way to do it. But the matchup is a lot better than it is against Talia's Ziggs. And so I wasn't like amped about this wallop. And I feel like we had a lot of games to where we just drew too much burn today. And then I wanted to have a little bit more reach. That's one of the things I really like about the Draven deck. The discard, whatever we call it, is it has the Captain Farron's, and then you can make all of these like chained discard plays to where we're discarding a bunch of stuff, but still getting the value out of it. And I feel like we're just falling like a little bit short and needing a little bit more reach. And so I'm going to play this a little bit later in the week. I'm not exactly sure what my answer to this is. The thing I'm kind of like thinking of right now is I'm going to pull the Wallop back out. And I want to get in another treasured trash or something just like really expensive. And then I want to get in a second Bandle City Mayor. And so I think I'll be like a little bit happier with it at that point. I'm kind of maybe thinking of taking out one of these Yordle captains as well. But I do like having access to these draws to where we get all the turbo elusives going. And a 4/4 is a pretty meaty stat line these days. And so I think that's where I'm kind of heading with this. We ran into a lot of games to where we just needed a unit as well. And so maybe I tried to fit in another unit. But the things with like Bandle City Mayor fix a lot of those problems. And again, like a lot of these draws were kind of awkward. Whenever you start off with one unit, a Mystic Shot, a Pokey Stick, and a Get Excited, that's just like not what your deck is trying to do. And so I've been like pretty down on Pokey Stick these days. There's not enough that it actually comes out and kills. And so maybe that's one of the things I look to take away as well. Like again, like in these matchups, we're really looking to pick on. Against Yuumi Pantheon, Pokestick just doesn't do anything. And then against Talia Ziggs, it is okay there, right? If they're playing the Rockhoppers and playing the 2/1s, then it gives you a pretty decent target for them. But I think that's where another place that I'm looking to just make a cut is to maybe just drop these Pokesticks. And I think I kind of like the sounds of where this is going. If we take out the 2 Pokesticks and the Wallop, add in a Bandle City Mayor, add in a Treasured Trash, and then probably add in. I wonder if Pharaoh's Fancier is the answer, as we are playing P and Z. He generates the expensive cards. He generates stuff that you can discard. I'm starting to like that more and more. I like the Fancier more than Conchologist, I think, and maybe that's the way we look at it. Is let me stop and marinate on that real quick before I end the video. If we cut out the 2 Pokesticks and the Wallop and add in 2 Pharaoh's Fanciers and a Bandle City Mayor is what I'm kind of thinking of at this moment, and I think I like that. So I don't think I'll be coming back at you with that tomorrow. I'll probably get some practice games in with this today, and then circle back to this deck later in the week. And so yeah, kind of my idea for the remainder of the week is I want to get in another day of Draven Scion. I want to get in another day of Pirates. That'll leave us with 2 days before Seasonals rolls around. I'll get in another round of Draven Scion and another round of Yordles and Arms for those remainders. And so, it's kind of an odd week. If you want to see us play odd and different decks, this won't be the week for you. But I think it's just like, given the amount of time I have to practice and make content, there has to be overlap with the 2. And so you're getting to kind of watch the practice, and that's what you're going to be seeing this week. But I think I like it, though. I think that's where I'm kind of leaning, is we're just going to cut out Talia Ziggs and then bring in Lulu Fizz. Then we'll play Lulu Fizz, we'll play Draven Scion, and we'll play Pirates. I like it. But that's going to do it. That's where we're at for the day. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You enjoyed the step inside the tournament practice. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.